The world gasped as Donald Trump brought down the tariff hammer. It was a bold move, one that sent shockwaves through the global trade system. The international community was left reeling, trying to make sense of the sudden shift in policy. Trump, never one to shy away from confrontation, had made good on his promise to protect American interests. His administration had long signaled a desire to renegotiate trade deals, but few expected such a dramatic step. The tariffs, applied universally, were a clear signal. The era of free trade was over. This was not just a policy change, it was a declaration of a new economic doctrine. The initial reaction was a mix of disbelief and anger. Economists warned of the potential for a global recession, while businesses scrambled to understand the implications for their supply chains. Traditional allies like Canada and the European Union cried foul. They had long enjoyed the benefits of free trade with the United States, and now faced the prospect of economic disruption. They accused the United States of protectionism and warned of a looming trade war. Protests erupted in several countries, with citizens demanding their governments take a stand against the new tariffs. The World Trade Organization braced for impact, its rules-based system suddenly under threat. The organization, which had long been the arbiter of international trade disputes, now faced a challenge to its authority. Yet, beneath the surface of outrage, a different reality began to take shape. Some countries saw the tariffs as an opportunity to renegotiate their own trade deals with the United States, hoping to gain more favorable terms. Countries, recognizing the New World Order, started to adjust. They began to explore new alliances and trade partnerships, seeking to mitigate the impact of the tariffs. Some saw an opportunity in the chaos, a chance to renegotiate their own trade deals with the United States. Business leaders and politicians alike began to strategize, looking for ways to turn the situation to their advantage. Trump, for his part, remained steadfast. He believed that the tariffs were a necessary measure to protect American jobs and industries, a message that resonated deeply with his base. He argued that the tariffs were necessary to protect American jobs and industries, a message that resonated with his base. For many American workers, particularly in industries like steel and manufacturing, the tariffs were seen as a lifeline, a way to level the playing field and ensure their livelihoods. The debate over the tariffs was far from over, but one thing was clear: the global economic landscape had been irrevocably changed. The world would have to adapt to this new reality, finding ways to navigate the complexities of a more protectionist United States. As the dust settled, the world watched closely, waiting to see how this bold move would reshape the future of global trade. The stakes were high and the outcome uncertain, but one thing was certain: the era of global shockwaves had just begun. The initial shock of Trump's tariffs sent ripples through the global economy. Businesses and governments alike were caught off guard, scrambling to understand the implications of these sudden changes. However, as the dust began to settle, a sense of pragmatism gradually took hold. Countries and corporations started to assess their positions and explore new strategies to navigate this uncharted territory. It became clear that outright opposition to the tariffs was futile. The global community recognized that the United States under Trump's leadership was resolute in its stance. The United States, under Trump's leadership, was not going to back down. The administration's commitment to reshaping trade policies was unwavering, and the world had to adapt. A new strategy was needed, one that acknowledged the changed landscape of global trade. Countries began to rethink their approaches, seeking ways to turn challenges into opportunities. Some countries, particularly those with close ties to the United States, saw an opportunity. They recognized that Trump's focus on bilateral agreements could work to their advantage. By negotiating directly with the United States, they could potentially secure better terms than under the existing multilateral framework. This shift in approach was evident in the actions of several countries. By negotiating directly with the United States, they could potentially secure better terms than under the existing multilateral framework. This shift in approach was evident in the actions of several countries. They began to see the benefits of direct engagement with the United States, leading to a series of bilateral agreements. Israel, a longtime ally, moved quickly to reduce tariffs on American goods. This decision was not just about maintaining a strong relationship with the United States, but also about securing economic benefits for its own industries. Taiwan, facing its own challenges with China, saw a chance to strengthen its economic relationship with the United States. By lowering tariffs and opening up its markets, Taiwan aimed to bolster its economy and reduce its dependence on China. Cambodia, eager to attract foreign investment, also lowered its trade barriers. The country recognized that by aligning more closely with the United States, it could create a more favorable environment for economic growth and development. This wave of tariff reductions, while initially driven by necessity, began to reshape the global trade landscape. Countries were not just reacting to the new policies but actively seeking ways to benefit from them. Countries were adapting to the new reality, one where bilateral deals and direct negotiations took precedence over multilateral agreements. This shift marked a significant change in the way global trade was conducted. The World Trade Organization, once the arbiter of global commerce, found itself increasingly sidelined. As countries pursued their own bilateral agreements, the influence of the WTO waned, signaling a new era in international trade relations. While much of the world grappled with the implications of Trump's tariffs, many nations were left scrambling to adjust their economic strategies. The global trade landscape was shifting rapidly, and countries had to decide whether to follow suit or carve out their own paths. Amidst this uncertainty, a handful of countries took a different tack. They saw an opportunity in the upheaval, a chance to forge closer economic ties with the United States and potentially gain a competitive edge in the global market. These nations, recognizing the shifting winds of global trade, moved quickly to reduce their own tariffs. By doing so, they positioned themselves to attract more American businesses and investments, hoping to boost their economies and strengthen their international standing. These early adopters, understanding the potential benefits of aligning with the United States, took proactive steps to adjust their trade policies. They aimed to create a more favorable environment for American goods and services, thereby fostering stronger economic partnerships. Israel, a steadfast ally of the United States, wasted no time in seizing the initiative. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, known for his savvy diplomacy and strategic foresight, recognized that aligning with Trump's vision of bilateral trade deals was in Israel's best interest. Netanyahu's government swiftly announced a reduction in tariffs on a range of American goods, including agricultural products and technology. This move was seen as a way to not only strengthen economic ties but also to solidify the political alliance between the two nations. The Israeli government believed that by reducing tariffs, they could attract more American businesses to invest in Israel, thereby boosting the local economy. The influx of American goods was also expected to provide Israeli consumers with more choices and better prices. Taiwan, facing increasing economic and political pressure from China, also saw an opportunity to strengthen its bond with the United States. President Tsai Ing-wen, determined to diversify Taiwan's trade partnerships, viewed this as a strategic move to reduce the island's reliance on the mainland. The Taiwanese government, eager to diversify its trade partnerships and reduce its reliance on the mainland, implemented tariff cuts on a variety of American imports, including automobiles and machinery. This decision was aimed at fostering a more resilient and diversified economy. Cambodia, a nation seeking to attract foreign investment and boost its export-oriented economy, followed suit. Prime Minister Hun Sen, known for his pragmatic approach to governance, recognized the potential benefits of aligning with the United States on trade. Hun Sen's government announced a reduction in tariffs on American agricultural products and textiles. This move was part of a broader strategy to increase Cambodia's share of the American market and attract more foreign investment. By reducing tariffs, Cambodia hoped to make its products more competitive in the American market, thereby boosting exports and creating more jobs at home. The influx of American goods was also expected to benefit Cambodian consumers by providing them with more options and better prices. In conclusion, Israel, Taiwan, and Cambodia's decision to embrace tariff freedom highlights a strategic shift in global trade dynamics. By aligning more closely with the United States, these nations are not only seeking economic benefits, but also aiming to strengthen their geopolitical positions in an increasingly complex world. As the global trade landscape continues to evolve, the actions of these countries serve as a reminder of the importance of adaptability and strategic foresight in navigating the challenges and opportunities of the modern economy.